Hello world, and welcome back to Minecraft Memoir. This is episode 55. In the last episode, we celebrated hitting 500, 750, and 800, yes, subscribers by building a giant coral fern. In between episodes, we didn't do a whole lot. We actually decided that it would be called a coral fern. In the last episode, I was saying that it was some sort of giant alien plant monster thing. I don't know what I was talking about. We're just going to call it a coral fern and leave it at that until I have to develop the lore any further. So there. I wanted to build some bridges over in that area. We were actually going to start the episode by the coral fern, but I didn't end up building those bridges, so it looks basically the same. I carted over some of the netherrack because we don't need that anymore, but everything else we left because we might use like the wood and the cobblestone over there. Yeah, we also did a little bit of mining, not a ton, but we got quite a bit of iron, which is good because that'll lead us into today's episode where we will be doing some viaduct building. We'll also be putting in the boosters along the rail heading towards the corner tower. At the very least, we'll do that before we do any viaduct building because, man, is it hard getting back and forth. I forgot how nice the viaduct from our spawn tower is. It saves us a lot of time running. And also, like, it takes the guesswork out of it. Every time I run over there, it's a different route, and it's kind of a lot, you know? Sometimes I'll take a wrong turn, and then I've got to, like, jump over top trees. It's just a pain. So let me show you, actually. I don't know why I didn't go in here. We also, in between episodes, we hit 900 subscribers. We're actually at, like, 913 right now. So we got some coal here, which is good. Some more iron. We actually lost a bunch of gold. We didn't really lose it. We quote-unquote lost it. I decided upon a lot more hiding spots in between episodes because, you know, I did do some building off screen when I was away for those 8 months. So I found some more spots to hide things. So yeah, let me get some rails crafted and my inventory full of other stuff, and we will head off towards the corner tower. So when I said corner tower, I of course meant this corner here, not the corner tower all the way over there. The corner junction. So we're going to proceed on. Actually, we might just start right here. I'm trying to decide if I want to start with putting in the boosters or if we just want to start like beautifying it from the start. Because really all of this could use some sprucing up. And I don't know if I want to start necessarily with the giant stone viaduct all the way at the end here, because that's going to be exhausting. So I think I need to like chip away at that while I work on everything else. So let me see here. I think one of the boosters will probably go right here. So maybe I'll get this sort of framed out. I also need to decide what sort of material I want on the floor of this tunnel here, because this is like under a bunch of rock. So I feel like this should all be stone. But I don't know if I want it to be this stone or like cobblestone or mossy cobble. And I might widen it or make it a little taller. So let me think about that. I'll definitely smooth this over though, like I did with these hills. I forgot to show, but these are all the items I brought over to start working with. You can see I brought a lot of iron, so hopefully that's enough to at least get us started here. Actually, that should be enough, period, because we already did like 80% of these tracks. So that's good. But we're definitely going to need more cobblestone, regular stone, maybe a bit more gravel too. I've already rounded this out. But I wanted to talk about, I cut myself off earlier. We hit 900 subs, and then we quickly went right past it. I said we're at about 920 right now, which is kind of nuts. We're quickly approaching 1,000. For some reason, I just kind of, I don't know, I assumed that as we got closer to 1,000, it would slow down. I don't know why. 1,000 isn't a special number. I mean, it is, obviously, it's a huge milestone, but it's not like the algorithm would make it slow down. So as we are quickly approaching 1,000 subs, I am quickly having to think of a way on how we would celebrate. I've got a few ideas, but I really don't know. I asked my Discord. Ooh, I just realized I forgot to answer them. I asked them, and I got a few replies, but like not a lot. And I genuinely just don't know what to do because it's a monumentous thing, and I really want to celebrate. Um, Genuinely, this sounds kind of bad, but my last few videos have been performing pretty well. I'm kind of hoping that this video doesn't garner enough subs to push us over 1,000. Just that way, you know, I'll have at least 2 more weeks to figure out an idea. I just, because I feel like it might, and then I'm just gonna have no clue on what to do. So I'll think about it, but you know, that clove polyp coral, that was kind of a big idea of mine, so now my ace in the hole is kind of gone. So also, I'm thinking that I've got these tracks laid out like this here, but I also want to put a booster right around here. I think it would just be a good spot for them. And then I might put one at the mouth of this cave on our side, like I said I would, or I might put it on the other side actually. That might just be a more convenient spot because I'll be over there more. But yeah, if that's the case, I might have to tear this up. Oh man, what bad luck. I was gonna hit record like 2 minutes ago. Well, I guess bad luck for all parties, but I meant specifically for me. I was gonna hit record, but then I wanted to fix some things, and in that span, 2 cars just got in an accident outside my apartment. So they're both just stopped at the light. They've got their hazards on. Very interesting. Feels bad. Uh, I'll keep an eye on them. But speaking of traffic, we've made some improvements here. So I put in the gravel stone underside here. I was rethinking this, like as I was putting in. I remember the first time I explained this. It was that there was more stone in the middle than there were on the sides because of gravity, and as you're wearing away rock, you know, the larger particles will stay in the middle, and the smaller ones will kind of tumble down to the sides. I told somebody about this idea, and they had some differing opinions. They thought that maybe there should be stone on the outside and gravel on the inside. That was a really long time ago, so I can't remember exactly what their argument was, but I was thinking about it. I've decided to go and stick with like the more stone in the middle and less on the sides, but I don't know. That is a good point that they made. Something I'll have to think about. I think it's more rational this way though, because there are individual tracks. I think like if it was just a single track, which in the future it probably will be, since we can go both ways in the future a lot easier. In the future, it'll probably be gravel in the middle, stone on the sides, but since it's 2 tracks, I think stone in the middle works. So I replaced that. I've been messing around with levers here because that's probably what we're gonna have to do so I can change my direction. I might use like a bow and arrow. I don't know if that'll work or if I just have to like get lucky. Or potentially some redstone with a lever in advance. But looking at it, I think I'm gonna remove this booster and move the whole landscape 6 blocks that way and replace it. Because where it is now, I would have to be very quick with it, hitting this lever. Like even if I put it further back, I suppose, with redstone, that might be okay. But I think it would just be easier to move this whole booster out of the way. And we're going to need it out of the way anyway for, that's a lot of ways, for the rail station here. So honestly, maybe I should leave it. because this is temporary. It will be replaced with a rail station. So I don't know, maybe we'll move on. I smoothed out the landscape a bit more. I built up over here because it was really flat, like a sharp drop off. So that looks a lot better now. I raised this up one and I put in a fully cobble floor except for a few spots where there's gravel. I basically just like flipped that. And then I built up to here. So we have just enough space to put in a booster. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I need to widen out this area. And it works out that this tunnel is from X 160, no, just 680. I don't know where I got 160 from. I'm just on a roll with the narrating and I mess up. From X 680 to X 640. So that works. I like, I don't know, certain measurements to line up. So yeah, I'll put a booster in here, but now I've got to figure out a design for this bit of bridge. I'm not sure if I want it to be wood or stone. I'm kind of leaning towards stone because I've done a lot of wood, and even though this is probably from me, I don't know. I got to think about it. Okay. Here's how it's looking over here. I wanted to show it off now because otherwise I'm pretty sure I would just finish it. And I want to stretch it out a little bit because I think this is pretty cool looking. Actually, the whole point of this is to make it look just a little more like upscale than a regular portion of Woodbridge that like in the lore I have built as a character. So you'll notice I put a stone foundation here. That is, again, just to make it look cooler. I guess one could argue that, like, maybe this is kind of like a low wetlands here. Maybe I could do something like that in the future when I have, you know, more blocks to express that. So they had to raise it up. But really, it's just a foundation to make it look more important. Also, I tripled up these wood supports here. In the other wood bridge sections, I doubled them up. So tripled them up just to make it look a little more important. So now I've got a bunch of fence in my inventory, and I'm going to dress this up like usual. I also think I'm going to do some diagonals. I have some wood stairs in here because I'm going to try that, because I think doing it with fence might be just a little too much. So yeah, I think this looks really good though. And the wood bits are, I think, 5 blocks tall. Yeah. So everything's on a pretty good like number. These spaces here are 4 blocks, and then these are 2 blocks, which I usually use odd numbers, but it just worked out better that way. And then the whole bridge is 73 blocks. So I like that number, which that worked out pretty well. And then coming up here, I also did some just general terraforming, so you will notice that as I go around. An example being I terraformed over here to make this connection look better. And I put a booster in, so that looks good. I'll probably have to put some sort of structure over this at some point. Maybe like a tower would look good here. Because just I feel like mobs will get near these minecarts pretty often from the hills. So I'll deal with that later though. And then coming over here, oh yeah, that creeper just reminded me. I also put a bunch of torches around. I did like another kind of sweep through of trying to light everything up. And aside from that hill, like the other side of it, pretty much everything around is lit up, which is good. I still need to get the tops of some of these trees though, which is kind of hard, so I've been putting it off. So yeah, it comes all the way over here, and I terraformed this hill a bit too. So this support is kind of in the hill, but I think it looks all right. So now I need to figure this out. I'm really not sure about this junction. I might leave it alone, to be honest, and then just work like further ahead, because I really just don't know. I feel like I could do something cool with this bit of landscape and like keep this channel going. But that requires a lot. Ooh, my gosh. That requires a lot more time than I really have here. So I might just finish this up and move on. All of 30 minutes later, and we are now finished. So like I said, had I not recorded that last clip, you probably wouldn't have seen any of the building process. But here it is. I think it looks really good. Only 30 minutes, but it made quite a transformation. I didn't do a whole lot to it. Like I said, I put the fence on, and then I messed around with the stairs here. That is actually what took up the bulk of the time. I initially had them going the opposite direction, where they were faced in towards this middle post. But then thinking about like structural supports, that would be a lot of pressure on this middle post. So I had them go out instead. And I think that looks better anyway. It kind of makes like a little arch of its own. So I think this is good. And then I also put these stairs in. You can't really see them. These ones here, you can definitely see these guys. You can't really see them if you're looking right at it, but like from the side you can. So I think that looks good. And yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna move on now. I really don't know what to do with this, so I think I'm just gonna keep moving further on, and we'll continue on with the section that I do know what to do with. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I was gonna go further down, but I realized, aside from this bit here, I do know what I want to do for this track. Since it's not going to move, it directly mirrors the opposite side, and the opposite side is not going to move, so this won't move. I can start building some basic stuff here. Firstly, I'm going to put down the gravel and stone like normal, and then I think for this straightaway, I'll put another booster in. That way you have enough speed to get up and over going that way. And then again, gravel and stone. And then we have a tunnel here. So I was checking this out from the outside, and this is a pretty cool structure. First off, I might put something in the corner here. I don't know, maybe like some tunnels going in the opposite directions. It feels like there should be something here though, not just like a turn. You know, that's kind of boring. But above us right now is a really cool structure. So let me go out here and defeat the spider that is definitely chasing me. We're getting into the area that I have not worked about. So pray for me. Yeah, that overhang there, I think it looks really cool, especially during daytime when it's less dangerous. We're fine. So yeah, I think that looks really cool. So I definitely want to do something with it. Come here, you. I'm pretty good at dodging the enemies these days, honestly. I feel like I don't lose health nearly as much as I did, especially when I like came back from my break. I was losing health pretty constantly, but it comes back kind of like muscle memory on like how to dodge these guys. So it feels good. But yeah, I want to do something with this. I'm not sure what. So I think for now I'm gonna build this kind of the same as the other tunnel. But I'll leave space for expansion and improvement because we'll definitely do something with this. So I'm going to preface this by saying it is very late at night. I'm struggling to form words at this point, so I apologize for this clip. But I wanted to record this before I go to bed. I haven't actually done a whole lot of building over here. I did do what I was going to, what I said I was going to at least. So I'm going to show that, but I'm going to move on after I show you this. Not like from this project, just further down the track. We just want to get everything sort of functional rather than perfect. You know, like 50% rather than 100. This project is really, oh man, I think I've already said this phrase before, but don't let good enough be the enemy of perfection. Like, I'm really just trying to push through this because I want to do something, you know? And I think this is an important project. So you can see I've put in sort of a booster hut. I've got plans on making it a 2-story thing, and it's going to stretch out over this part of the track with these supports here and here, and on the other side as well. It'll be mirrored. I think that'll look good. And you can see it's actually only 2 blocks, 3 I guess, because it only has to go one way. So instead of it being the 5 or 7, depending on how you want to look at it. So that's pretty cool. We can make it like a narrow building, which I like. And then going in the tunnel here, it transitions from the gravel to stone. And that was pretty good. I kind of put more gravel near the entrance of these caves. You don't really notice it. It's very minor, but like it gets a lot more sparse in the middle section here, which I like that. And then I did the kind of crossroads here, but I didn't go further than 5 blocks because this one showed a grass block, and I just don't want to deal with figuring out where this tunnel's going to go if I do break through. And then going this way, raising the ceiling up one more actually opened up a lot of holes that I should probably cover up for enemies just like that. Yeah. So that's fine though. And then I finished it right about here. And this also worked out from here, from this bit of cobblestone, to the 3x3 like junction at the crossroads. It is 60 blocks long. And then for the left tunnel here, it is, I think, 15 to this bit of cobblestone. So that's nice, multiples of each other. So yeah, I'm going to leave it as this, though. I'm not going to do anything further with this tunnel. I don't know if I want to try working on the other side, or just generally further down the track. So let me figure that out. I resumed my renovations on the right side here. So I put in the regular gravel path, and then followed it up with a booster. I'm going kind of quick now because you've seen the process. This booster lines up with this one over here though. I'll probably build a similar structure up here to what I build down there, but I've got to finish that one first. And also this one's under a bunch of trees, so it's going to have to be slightly different. And then I continued it on over there. And before I go down, I also want to point out, I went through 4 stacks of torches and torched up basically every tree. Okay, don't look at those. Every tree in this direction at least. And especially the ones like above us here, all these giant oaks. So hopefully no mobs drop on our heads as we're going along this way. So as we make our way down, I said earlier that the booster only has to be 2 blocks wide, but obviously it's 3 blocks because I left this one open as well. I don't know what I'm going to put here, but I figured it looked better than making this one like lopsided, you know? So yeah, I built down here and then got a little bit here and then stopped. As it is, I actually did quite a bit of terraforming for this here because I had to build up the landscape like a lot right here and some over there, and I had to dig out this area, and I really started digging it out here, so I wanted to pause. So I wanted to point out, though, I need to put a bit more of a barrier on the railway here. I would like there to be dirt on all sides of the gravel, potentially cobblestone. I mean, I don't really care if it's cobblestone, but just for the sake of it being this pathway in general, I would like some dirt alongside it. But that means that I need to build this up even more. So I need to do some more terraforming. And then I need to figure out how this path is going to get through here. I might end up just like digging through completely and making this its own separate hill here, and this its own, but that feels like a lot. So I don't know, I could maybe build up the landscape and make it like an archway. I'll see what I come up with. And then right here, I don't know what I want to do with this still, but I feel like maybe we could use this for a build maybe in the next episode, because I really, really want to do something with it. It's got a lot of potential. So now though, I guess I'll do that terraforming, and then I've got to figure out something for this bridge here. Man, I love reviewing my late night recordings. Because obviously I don't rewatch them the same night I record them. So like the last clip, for example, that was a few nights ago, I just rewatched it and I realized it's not that great. I mean, it's not bad, but like right at the beginning, I've got very, very low energy and slow pacing, and you can just tell I'm exhausted. And then right at this corner here, I keep saying the word here. I just say it again. I keep saying the word here. I do it like 20 times. So I apologize. I'm not going to re-record it, but I just think it's funny. It's artifacts of me being exhausted. So speaking of which, right over here at this hill, I terraformed it a bit more. I built it up some, and I think it looks a lot better. There we go. As well as over here and here. Here just really is a good word to describe places, but I need to be more specific for my audio listeners. So over in this hill and this smaller one, I separated them like I said I would. And I think that looks a lot better. I didn't do really anything with it, but I can see myself putting something up here. And then I extended it forward and built this wooden bridge. And I forgot to torch up. Very good. That should be fine. And I only did the top of this bridge. I was trying to figure out the bottom design. And then I realized I've been really struggling with scope creep. I think I've already mentioned that at some point in the series, where you just work on something for so long that you get really down into the nitty-gritty. And like, I was getting really focused on the details of the arch or whatever I built underneath here. And I realized it's not that serious. Like, obviously I want it to look nice, but you know, when I'm pre-building every single thing, that just gets exhausting, and it's not super fun, to be honest. I do really enjoy pre-building, but you know, I was taking it too far. So I'm just gonna slap something up here and call it good, because I want to get further down this track. So I do want to point out, though, this wood section is, I believe, 30 blocks long. I think it's 30. I hope I'm not wrong. Hey, that rhymed. And then this is 3. And then from here to right where it turns is 38 blocks. Right here is 38. So this is 36. I had it that way, so the straightaway is 36 blocks, a multiple of 3. Oop, well, that works. And then, since I wanted to get down to, oops, I guess it doesn't. Then I wanted to get down to Y73.62. So each level here goes down by 4, except for the last one here, to account for this here, these 3 blocks. So then it goes straight, and I've got to connect it up at this row of torches where there's a creeper. So that being said, oh no, sheep almost juked me. That being said, I'm not really sure how I want to connect up this side, because I don't really want this rail just running forward into the plains here. Oh my gosh, okay. Where are these guys coming from? There's like a bunch over there too. Oh my gosh, it's like my only spawn. I mean, there's some zombies and skeletons there, but for the most part, that's kind of wild. Yeah, anyway, sorry. I don't want the rail running all the way over there, though, because this is a nice open space, and I might want to build something here. So I might make it turn into this hill, but I also might use this hill for something. So I really don't think I want to have it go diagonal, though, because then the rail will, like, you know, when you're riding it, you're like, doo -doo 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 -doo, and that's just not fun. So I gotta brainstorm. I'm really not sure, but I guess I'll kill all these creepers while I'm over here. So unfortunately we are at about the 30-minute mark here. So I'm gonna start wrapping up the episode. Feels kind of bad. Genuinely, it doesn't feel like we did a whole lot today, which I know isn't true. Like, pretty much anything from this point onwards is progress, and functional progress. Making this pathway more easily traversable is big business for me. So this is good. I just, you know, just doesn't feel like I did a whole lot. Oops. Which I guess is also good, you know. It wasn't a whole lot of effort doing this, but a big payoff. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff I need to do and some of the stuff I did need to do. That junction over there and this whole tunnel. Something at this corner here. Something that I did that you obviously saw is this bridge. I would say that this is probably the centerpiece of this episode. I also need to figure out that stairwell because that's really jarring coming up. There's also some stuff back there I need to do, but I talk too slowly, so whatever. Just some stuff in between. Wow, oh my gosh. Good thing none of them stopped me. Well, I was gonna point out this big reveal, but I did a bunch of terraforming over here. I'm really glad this is the last clip because this was like 2 hours of terraforming. So I am beat and ready to put this video out. Especially this hill here, it was like 10 blocks higher than like the corner, quote unquote corner is. So it was a lot of mining, and over here too, but really right here. So I smoothed everything out, especially here. I kind of made this its own hill, and I think that looks good. Makes this turn a lot nicer to look at. You'll notice, so two things. One, I put in these smooth stone slabs here. This is to like kind of imply that the gravel is being held back by something. I had it go 1 block out just to make it, I don't know, more reasonable that it's holding particulates back. It kind of makes this, I don't know, spinal cord effect. You can really see it when you're at the top of this ridge here. So I think that's cool. And then the trees, there's these 2 really tall trees. I was going to get rid of them, but they're just in like pretty good spots. And I didn't want to have to deal with growing more trees. Honestly, I was surprised that all this grass grew as it is. So I just made them tall, and I think they look cool. So you can just barely see the end of the, I guess, new viaduct. I don't know what you would call it. It's just the second portion of viaduct that we're building. So I like that we got at least within viewing distance of it. And then the last thing I want to point out is this bridge over here. I worked a bit on the supports. Oh gosh, it's getting late at night, so I'm struggling with my words. But I worked on these, and I think they turned out all right. The spacing, since this thing is 30 blocks, is a little weird. So these supports on the ends are singled, and then there's 3 blocks space, and then there's doubled up for the ones in between. So it's 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. So I think that works out fine. And I'll figure out what the like fence situation on the inside is going to look like. because I feel like I should do something here too. Make it a little specialer. Is that a word? Because it's kind of like a bridge that, is like tall and then gets narrow. And it's in this cool area that I really want to use. Honestly, this might just be a placeholder. I might just leave it like this because depending on what we do here, that could really affect the design. So that gives me an excuse to procrastinate on it. Heading back towards the end of the line, I did want to point out I need to fix up this slope here. Even if we're not going to do the bridge, this should look better. I put in this cobblestone wall on both sides of my bridges. I don't know if you can see the other side. No, okay. I blocked it up, but it was there. So I put this one up, and then I put in these oak planks. Aside from the wall, like if nothing else, I need to replace these planks with stairs. Just leaving it as blocks is heinous, villainous behavior. So I'll swap those out, probably put some fence underneath it. Something like that, improve it maybe. No, that looks bad too. It's kind of hard, it's a little small. So I'll work on it later. Otherwise though, I think this area looks really good. I'll probably put in some small things on the sides, points of interest. But otherwise, this is a gorgeous area. Like coming into this valley, this looks great. So I need to figure out how this hooks up. I'll do that off camera, because again, that one over there is kind of hard to deal with. And then we'll continue heading on. I think in the next episode, honestly, in the next episode, we'll probably just continue off here, because it won't take very long to get us to the actual stone part of the viaduct, which should be right where that dirt pole is. It actually might be a bit closer. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.